Okay, so we've chopped all our vegetables, and when it's all finished, it looks like this. So, what we've got in there is chopped potato, chopped swede, chopped onion, some diced beef skirt, and some chopped fresh parsley, and it's all mixed up together. Now, the most important thing here is to season it really well. It's really easy to not put enough seasoning on, and then it can be a bit bland. So you need to put loads and loads of salt and pepper in there, and if you're not sure, put too much in, because it will just make it a little bit more tasty. And once you've chopped it all up and you've mixed it all up and you've seasoned it well, then we're ready to make pasties. So we'll put this to one side for a minute. I've already coated my baking trays with butter so that I can put the pasties on them and they won't stick when they're in the oven, which is great. And I also need to make an egg wash, so that for two reasons. One, so we can stick the pasties together so that when they're crimped they'll stick and stay together, and also to glaze them afterwards so that they come out a nice golden brown colour when they come out of the oven. So, egg wash, easy. One egg in a cup or a glass, and just whisk it up. Until it looks something like that. Now, I only ever do one egg at a time, but you may well need more depending on how many pasties you make. So, once I've made that, egg in the bin. The next thing we need is the pastry that we made earlier. So, here it is. It's been in the fridge for a couple of hours, and it looks great. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to get a knife, which I dried earlier on, washed earlier on, and I'm going to cut the pastry into 4 to start with. So I've made 2 lots of this pastry, and so that suggests that initially I should be able to make 8 pasties. As it happens, you won't use all of that in one pasty, so there'll be a chance to make more than 8. But I always base it on 8 to start with. Put some flour down and squash your pastry down, and I always rotate it so that it ends up a bit flat but kind of circular, like this. And then get your rolling pin, coat your rolling pin in some flour, and start rolling out your pastry. Now, what I tend to do to get the right size is to use a plate. And today I'm going to use a small plate because I've got quite a lot of pasties to make, whereas if you were hungry you could use a bigger plate and make bigger pasties. So that looks about right. So there we are, I've got a plate, and cut round the plate like this, and save that bit of pastry for later. And we have a circular piece of pastry. Brilliant. Next thing we need to do is put some filling in it. So, make sure it's all mixed up nicely. Get a good dollop of filling, and then perhaps maybe a little bit more than that, like that. Okay. And now we need a pastry brush and some egg wash. Go around the edge of the pastry with the egg wash like this. once you've got egg all the way around the outside, you take one side of the pastry, you pull it over, and you push it onto the other side like this, and you push it down. Now, the pastry should be relatively strong, so you should be able to just squish it all together. There we go. Yeah, that's alright, mate. So then, you crimp it, and I do that just by holding down the edge and folding the next bit over like this. Like so. And hey presto, we have one pasty ready to go. And that can sit on there, like so. And you keep going until you've run out of filling and you've run out of pastry. And then once we finish that, we'll show you how to glaze them and put them in the oven.